Trust and respect are the foundations of any meaningful relationship, whether it's personal, professional, or social. But not everyone is worthy of these precious resources. Some people display behaviors or habits that should serve as red flags, warning you to be cautious and to guard your energy. Here are 9 types of people you should never trust or respect and why they can be harmful to your life and well-being. 1. The chronic liar. Chronic liars destroy trust, the foundation of any meaningful connection. Unlike occasional fibs, their dishonesty is constant and calculated, often aimed at avoiding responsibility or manipulating others for personal gain. Their lies might seem harmless at first, but over time, they create confusion and undermine confidence in the relationship. A chronic liar's behavior leaves you questioning what's real, even when they tell the truth. Doubt lingers, eroding the stability needed for trust to thrive. Their manipulation can damage your sense of security, making it impossible to rely on their words or intentions. Protecting yourself from a chronic liar starts with recognizing the pattern. Confrontation rarely changes their behavior. So instead, focus on setting boundaries and limiting your reliance on their honesty. Surround yourself with individuals who value truth and transparency, those who build trust rather than destroy it. 2. The gossip. Gossip may seem harmless, but it reveals a deeper issue, an inability to respect boundaries or maintain trust. Gossipers thrive on spreading information, often exaggerated or untrue, about others. While they may present themselves as confidants, sharing stories to appear close or trustworthy, they are more likely to betray your trust when the opportunity arises. The harm caused by gossip is far-reaching. It creates division, damages reputations, and leaves those targeted feeling betrayed or exposed. Worse, if someone gossips to you, they are almost certainly gossiping about you to others. This cycle of negativity makes it impossible to build genuine, trusting relationships. Dealing with gossipers requires setting boundaries. Politely refuse to engage in conversations about others, and protect your privacy by sharing personal information sparingly. Surround yourself with people who communicate with honesty and respect, those who value connection over drama. Trust is too important to waste on someone who uses words to tear others down. 3. The manipulator. Manipulators are skilled at bending situations to their advantage without regard for the feelings or well-being of others. Unlike direct liars, they don't always tell outright falsehoods. Instead, they twist the truth, exploit weaknesses, and play on emotions to achieve their desired outcome. The manipulator thrives on control, using subtle tactics to influence others and create a sense of dependency. What makes manipulators so dangerous is their ability to make you doubt your own perception of reality. They often play the victim, shift blame, or make others feel guilty for standing up for themselves. Through this manipulation, they chip away at your confidence, leaving you second-guessing your decisions and actions. Being around a manipulator is emotionally draining. They demand constant validation and rarely give anything back in return. They exploit your kindness, making you feel responsible for their problems while minimizing their own role in the issues. Over time, this dynamic can lead to feelings of isolation and frustration, as you begin to realize how much of your energy and emotional investment has been drained. To protect yourself from manipulators, it's essential to set clear boundaries and trust your instincts. Recognize when you're being manipulated and learn to say no without feeling guilty. Building a strong sense of self-awareness and confidence will help you avoid falling into their traps. Surround yourself with people who support and respect you, rather than those who use you as a pawn in their power games. 4. The hypocrite. A hypocrite is someone who expects others to live by a set of standards they themselves don't follow. Their actions contradict their words, and their behavior reveals a complete disregard for the values or principles they preach. They hold others to high expectations while constantly failing to meet those same expectations themselves, which ultimately causes frustration and disappointment for everyone involved. The hypocrisy of such individuals can be subtle at first, but over time it becomes evident. They may criticize others for doing things they themselves have done, or they might make grand promises without ever following through. Their double standards create an environment of confusion and mistrust, leaving others feeling betrayed and disillusioned. Being in a relationship with a hypocrite, whether in a friendship, family dynamic, or romantic partnership, can be emotionally draining. It's hard to rely on someone who holds you to an ideal they themselves failed to meet. This creates a toxic environment, where you are left questioning their sincerity and wondering when their next contradiction will appear. To avoid being hurt by a hypocrite, it's crucial to observe their actions more than their words. When their behavior consistently does not align with their rhetoric, it's time to reassess the relationship. A person who doesn't practice what they preach undermines the very trust and respect required to foster a healthy and meaningful connection. 5. The envious person. Envy is a powerful emotion, and those who are driven by it can be incredibly toxic. An envious person is constantly comparing themselves to others, and instead of celebrating the success of those around them, they feel threatened or resentful. This negativity often leads to destructive behaviors, such as undermining others, spreading gossip, or seeking to bring someone down in order to elevate themselves. The envious person's attitude can feel suffocating. Instead of offering support or genuine happiness for your achievements, they react with jealousy or disdain. Their subtle remarks or passive-aggressive comments are meant to deflate your confidence and make you feel guilty for succeeding. Over time, this constant negative energy becomes draining, and you may begin to feel like your accomplishments are something to hide rather than share. What makes the envious person particularly harmful is their inability to celebrate others' successes. Their focus on comparison prevents them from seeing their own potential or achieving fulfillment on their terms. Instead of being a source of inspiration or encouragement, they act as a constant reminder of what they lack. To protect yourself from the influence of an envious person, it's essential to recognize their behavior early. Set clear boundaries and don't allow their negativity to affect your self-worth. Be mindful of what you share with them, as they may attempt to downplay your successes or twist your words. Surround yourself with people who genuinely want to see you succeed and who will lift you up rather than drag you down. An envious person will only hinder your growth, so it's best to distance yourself from this type of energy. 6. The abuser. Abuse, whether emotional, physical, or psychological, is a devastating violation of trust and respect. An abuser uses manipulation, control, and intimidation to dominate others, leaving them feeling powerless, fearful, and isolated. Unlike conflicts or disagreements, abuse is a pattern of behavior aimed at breaking someone down, often in subtle ways at first, before escalating over time. An abuser's tactics are manipulative and often disguised as love or care. They may belittle you, make you feel worthless, or guilt-trip you into compliance. They may twist your words or actions to make you feel responsible for their anger or actions. The fear they instill can create an atmosphere of tension, where you're always walking on eggshells, uncertain when the next outburst will come. The damage an abuser causes is profound. Emotional abuse chips away at your confidence, self-worth, and mental health, often leaving deep scars that take years to heal. Physical abuse, of course, can leave permanent damage. Over time, the victim may lose their sense of self, becoming entirely dependent on the abuser for validation and even survival. The worst part of dealing with an abuser is that they often isolate their victims from friends, family, or anyone who could offer support. This isolation creates an environment where the victim begins to believe that no one else cares for them, further cementing the abuser's control. If you find yourself in a situation with an abuser, it's vital to recognize the signs early. Trust your instincts, and know that no one deserves to be treated this way. Setting boundaries and seeking help from trusted loved ones or professionals is essential. Don't be afraid to walk away from any relationship where abuse is present. Your safety, happiness, and well-being should always come first. In dealing with an abuser, remember that it's never your fault. The blame lies squarely on the abuser, and their behavior is a reflection of their own insecurities and need for control. Surround yourself with people who care about your well-being and support you through the process of healing. Ending an abusive relationship can be incredibly difficult, but it's the first step toward reclaiming your life and your peace of mind. 7. The flatterer. The flatterer is someone who uses excessive praise or compliments not to genuinely acknowledge your worth, but to manipulate or gain favor. They know exactly what to say to make you feel good, often showering you with flattering words at just the right moment. But underneath their compliments lies a hidden agenda, to get something in return. Whether it's your attention, trust, or cooperation, flattery often feels nice at first. We all enjoy being complimented, especially when it feels sincere. However, the flatterer's praise is calculated. They will tell you what you want to hear, all while hiding their true intentions. They may shower you with compliments to build rapport, only to later ask for favors, manipulate your decisions, or use your vulnerabilities to their advantage. The danger of the flatterer lies in the fact that their words don't align with their actions. While they may praise you to your face, they are often talking behind your back or acting in ways that reveal their insincerity. The more you fall for their flattery, the more they gain power over you. To protect yourself from a flatterer, pay attention to their consistency. Are their compliments aligned with their actions, or do they seem superficial and empty? True admiration is shown through respect, trust, and genuine support, not just empty words. Set boundaries and be wary of people who shower you with praise but rarely demonstrate kindness or honesty in other ways. True, valuable relationships are built on authenticity, not manipulation through flattering remarks. 8. The irresponsible. The irresponsible person is someone who consistently avoids responsibility, never owns up to their actions, and fails to follow through on commitments. Whether it's in their personal life, work, or relationships, they refuse to take accountability for the impact of their choices. They are quick to blame others or external circumstances when things go wrong, never looking inward to address their own shortcomings. An irresponsible person may seem carefree or even charming at first, but this lack of accountability soon creates chaos and frustration for those around them. They fail to meet deadlines, forget important events, and often leave others to pick up the pieces. Their behavior disrupts trust and creates an environment where others are constantly covering for them or cleaning up after their mess. The effects of dealing with an irresponsible person can be draining. You may find yourself picking up the slack, managing their tasks, or constantly reminding them of what needs to be done. Over time, this imbalance can cause resentment and burnout, as your efforts go unnoticed or unappreciated. To protect yourself from an irresponsible person, set clear boundaries and avoid taking on their responsibilities. Hold them accountable for their actions, and recognize when their behavior is becoming a pattern. It's essential to stop enabling their irresponsibility by covering for them or ignoring the impact of their actions. Surround yourself with people who take responsibility for their own lives and actions, and who contribute positively to your relationships, rather than draining your energy and effort. 9. The self-absorbed. The self-absorbed person is entirely focused on their own needs, desires, and problems, often to the detriment of those around them. They have little regard for the emotions, concerns, or well-being of others, as they are preoccupied with their own world. Their conversations are dominated by their own experiences, and they rarely show interest in listening to anyone else or providing support in return. What makes the self-absorbed person so draining is their inability to empathize or give. They often expect others to cater to their needs without reciprocating or considering how their actions affect others. Whether in friendships, family, or romantic relationships, they take more than they give, leaving others feeling neglected, unappreciated, and emotionally depleted. In relationships with a self-absorbed person, you may find yourself constantly giving without receiving, or putting in all the effort while they do the bare minimum. They rarely acknowledge your sacrifices or show gratitude, and their self-centeredness leaves little room for healthy communication or mutual support. Over time, their behavior can lead to feelings of isolation, as they fail to see or appreciate the contributions you make. To protect yourself from a self-absorbed individual, it's important to set clear boundaries and recognize when you're being taken advantage of. Don't be afraid to speak up when your needs are being ignored or your efforts are unacknowledged. Surround yourself with people who are capable of empathy, who listen and contribute to the relationship in equal measure. Relationships thrive on balance and mutual respect, and you deserve to be surrounded by individuals who offer the same level of care and attention that they expect in return.